Yep, got him.
Got him?
Yep.
Good one, mate.
Feels like a pretty good fish, actually.
Yeah?
Oh, no, he's just a smallie. It's just getting me excited.
You got him there, mate?
Yeah, mate, he's ready to go.
Oh, swing him across, beautiful. That's the start that we wanted. G'day, welcome to Real Action. Michael Guest. Toddy Riches is with me today, and that has just popped out of there. There's a beautiful little flathead. We're chasing flatties up and down the sand flats. We've got a few different techniques we're going to use. We've got some surface lures. We've got bigger soft plastics, smaller soft plastics. You name it, we're going to try and find them. So tide's running, just starting to run out at the moment, but big high tide's pushed in. We might go up the sand flats and have a look and see if we can't find a few. But I've got to tell you, that's a beautiful little fish, and that's a great start to what hopefully is going to be a pretty busy day on the water for us, eh, Todd?
Yeah, mate, looking forward to it. Got him.
Got him, mate.
Nice one.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, you swallowed that too.
Pretty light colour, that one, Toddy.
Yeah.
It's amazing flathead. They've got this incredible camouflage ability that they have, and depends where they're sitting, and we're sort of sitting over some...
Hooks just popped out.
Just spat that one out. Sitting on top of some real patchy looking country, so there's weed and sand, and just depends on where you are as to what colours that they take on. He's gone a little bit darker since we pulled him out of the water, but if you get them right on the sand, they're just super white, aren't they?
They are, yeah, definitely.
And you see them in the water, they're amazing how they bury down the sand. Sometimes you'll only just see their eyes poking out. And yeah, no, they're incredible fish. Certainly a very, very good eating fish. If you're going to take one to eat, this is probably the size, and let those big breeding females go. That's another one, mate. That's 2-0 to you.
2-0, what's going on, Guesty?
I'm fishing for a big fish at the moment. That's what I'm going to say anyway at the moment. If it continues this way, just show everyone what you're using.
Yep.
Got the big king shrimp on at the moment. I might have to change to one of those as well. Flathead loves structure. Absolutely loves structure. We've got oyster racks here at the moment, so we've snuck in behind the leases and just using the electric motor. We're just sitting sort of into the current. The current's coming down this way, and I'm hopping, what we call hopping that lure along the bottom. So I've got a really big soft plastic shrimp on at the moment, and just hopping it with the tide. Really important that you do that. If I turn around and I cast back in, I'd be casting in the wind here at the moment, but if I cast back into the tide, as soon as I go hop, hop, that shrimp's going to be way off the bottom. As we know, the flathead is sitting tight on the bottom, if not half buried sometimes. So really important to cast up current and work your lure back in the same direction that the water's moving. Oh, whack.
Got him? Yeah.
Got him there, Toddy. Oh, she's right, mate. I reckon I can just swing this
Swing him?
Straight up and in, because you know why? I don't trust you to net my fish.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't
off.
blame you. I would have missed that one for
We're
sure.
fishing quite large profile shrimp lures at the moment, prawn pattern lures. So you really got to set the hook quite hard with those smaller fish, bigger jig heads than we'd normally use, because we would like to try and find a slightly larger one. This one, even though he's a very pretty fish, I'd like to see his bigger brother or sister somewhere. You know what I'm going to do, Toddy? I'm going to go and get a glove and handle them properly, because that is just asking to get spiked. That's what's happening there. There they are there. There's those spikes. We've seen them 1,000 times, but I can tell you, they hurt like you wouldn't believe. So gloves are always really good, and the bigger fish you can, oh, come here, buddy. Open that mouth up. And they've got those spikes on both sides of the head, obviously. A little bit of a thumb grip, and support the belly there, and you can hold them up nice and easily, but they've got those spikes on both sides, so just be really careful of that. Little fella, we'll let him go. He's come out of the weed, I reckon, that one. He's quite dark. He can go back and grow a bit bigger. We'll see him next time.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, I do, mate. I reckon I can probably just swing him straight up, bud. Absolutely swallowed that. Amazing appetite that flathead have, and I think surprising just how big a lure that you can use for them. That's only probably a 45 centimetre fish, and if I can just, I haven't got my glove on, so I'm a bit nervous here, Todd, at the moment, but if I just sneak that out, it just got bigger and bigger, that lure, as it came out of the fish's mouth. It is blowing. We just checked on the weather app. I've got this cool little cradle for my phone here, and it charges it up, and I had a look at the weather app. It's blowing, what do we say, 26 knots.
Yeah.
So it is, if it sounds windy, that's because it is windy, and I think I've got my hat velcroed to my head at the moment, so it doesn't blow off. It's pretty windy, but that just goes to show you we're trying to hopefully find a slightly better fish, a bigger one. But still, those smaller fish will eat those big lures as well. And look at the size of that, was right down to there, so he's absolutely engulfed it.
Got him.
Got him, mate?
Yep.
Good one?
Nah, he's pretty average size, I think.
Just the average one. Take it in front there. Oh, little fella. Oh yeah, that's a go.
Not a bad little one.
All right. I'll let you sort him out.
Yep.
Mate, oh, I lost a cracker a minute ago. That's one there. Must have rubbed me around something. That happens, unfortunately.
Nice little flatty. Got him? Yep. He looks all right.
Yeah, it's a better fish, mate, this one, I think. Got those head shakes. The gear I'm using is a 3000 size spin reel, a 7'4", 3 to 5 kilo rod, some 10-pound braid, and I've upgraded to some 15-pound leader after I got busted off on the 10-pound there just before. And it feels like a nice fish. The one I lost before, I reckon it was the big one, Toddy. I think this one's okay.
It looks pretty good.
This one's okay. Just going.
Giving you a bit of curry.
Yeah, just with the boat. I've just sort of parked us here for a minute, and it is blowing. It's as windy as you're ever gonna see. Righto, mate, get ready with that net. Actually, we might even end up out the other side here. We'll do the dance, Todd. Let's see what we've got. I can see a nice big brown shape down there.
It's a cod.
Oh, and it's an estuary cod. I thought it was a flathead. Wow, look at that. What a cool looking dude he is. Yes.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Totally unexpected. That's a really nice looking fish. I thought it felt like a flathead, didn't it? Look like a flathead.
Big head shakes on it as well. Yeah,
the head shakes and bouncing around. I'll just stop us there for a sec. Let's lift him up and have a look at him. Those magnificent looking black dots, and totally protected in this part of the world, so we'll have a real quick look at him and let him go, but what a cool looking critter he is. I thought he was a good flathead.
Yeah, so did I, mate.
That slow moving weight, a couple of head shakes. I thought it was going to be sort of a 60 to 70 centimetre flathead. Turns out to be a couple of kilos of estuary cod. Estuary cod, they're an awesome looking fish. Also get the occasional black cod here, but as I said, protected. He needs to go back and yeah, well, maybe encounter him another time. They do grow quite a lot bigger than this. Off you go, buddy. When I looked at the weather yesterday, it said 10 to 15 knots out of the east-northeast, and it is blowing. As I said, we checked it before, 26 knots, and I reckon it's worse than that now. It'll be nearly getting very close to 30 knots, which is exceptionally windy. No dramas in this boat, 5.4 long. You know, it's a fantastic setup. Got the 115 HO on the back, can handle a bit of slop, but it just goes to show you, nearly double the wind strength than what's forecast. So if you make a trip in this estuary and decide to go way up the back, We've got tide against the wind. You can get yourself in a whole heap of trouble. So don't forget, those wind strengths can be way stronger than what's originally forecast.
Marine Rescue New South Wales has more than 3,000 volunteers to help keep you safe on the water. You can log on with your local Marine Rescue base when you're heading out. You can call them back to check your marine radio is working. Best of all, they'll come to your rescue if you break down or worse. It costs a lot to provide this world-class service, so make sure you support your local volunteers whenever you get the chance. Marine Rescue New South Wales, volunteers saving lives on the water.
Todd's just up the front there, ready to have a cast. The bottom looks fantastic here. Lots of timber and logs and things on the bottom. That's where the flatties love to lay, tucked up in there. You might not be able to see them on there. They can be difficult to see on the side scan, but those logs that are laying that way, best thing to do is probably move the electric motor around and then cast up and then hop your lure along them. If you try and cast across, especially across the current, you're likely to get snagged. But with your soft plastic, you've got more of a chance if you work up and down them, and they tend to lay the same direction as the timber. When you go for a dive, you see them laying around logs and tucked up in those little shadow areas. As I've said before, they really, really do love structure flatties, so the more time you can spend with your lure in and around that sort of area, better chance you got of a fish.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh.
Got him, mate?
I don't think it's a brim. Flatty, I should say. It's something big, though.
Oh, some good head shakes there. Take your time, bud. A couple of nice fish just coming through on the sounder there now. So Toddy's thinking this could even be a kingfish. Then there's been a few floating around. I see a few fish on the sounder there, so possibly. We're hoping it was a really big flathead, but we'll wait and see. Colour there now, mate.
Yeah, he's coming pretty close.
Oh, hang on. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
Going around the back.
How's that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Bit of driving there for you, brother. Certainly giving the tackle a bit of a workout, mate.
Mate, he's giving my heart a bit of a workout, that's for sure.
Been on the water a fair while today. We've caught lots of nice sized flathead, estuary cod. And the wind has just given us so much grief. And this is certainly a nice fish. I'm pretty keen to show you what it is. You almost had you buried in the leases. Just talking about it before, there's oyster leases all around us here. And we're just following this fish along. We're probably 150 metres from where we hooked it. So, not sure, we haven't seen it yet, so we're pretty keen to see what it is. There was, can you believe we're on the central coast of New South Wales, or sort of just below the mid-north coast, how big was a barramundi the commercial guys netted here years ago?
I'm not sure, it's pretty big.
I think somewhere around $1.10 was actually netted somewhere in these oyster leases. So you never know what's floating around here, but I'm pretty sure it's not a barra. Well, it hasn't jumped anyway, mate.
It hasn't jumped yet. Could be a barra.
I just spotted it, and it looks like a nice sized kingfish. Just caught it in the dirty water there. We've got a bit of work to do here yet, but hopefully we can get it up and show you. How we going?
He's going back that way.
Has he gone under?
He'd be deep under there now. I can feel him rubbing.
Free spooling him, or what do you want to do?
I don't know, he's deep in there now.
Well, that's disappointing.
It is, mate, it is.
We got to see it. It was a big kingfish. I'm talking, I don't know, way over a metre, probably up around that sort of metre 10, metre 15 mark. And we hooked it here, and we ended up way up there, a few hundred metres, and there was one more oyster rack to get past, and it's just blasted through the racks, and unfortunately that was the end of the story. You didn't do a lot wrong there, mate.
Oh, no, I tried my best, but...
This is flathead tackle, not kingfish tackle.
Yes, unfortunately. Better than brim tackle, that's for sure. Yep. Oh, it's a pretty good one.
Oh, go, mate. Got him? Yep. Oh.
Nice.
Nice, nice. We're right inside the oyster racks. Still blowing. The wind doesn't stop, but that's okay. So yeah, once again, structure's the key. I think Toddy was actually hopping it down along some old oyster.
Yeah, just some broken poles through here, so I was just twitching the little king shrimp along, and yeah, he picked it up off the bottom.
He's just grabbed hold of it. It's quite a light coloured one, so once again sitting in the sand, not so much in that dark weed. And yeah, mate, he's absolutely climbed on that. I mean, keeping an eye on the sounder too. We've got got the side scan up and the down scan. So if you have your side scan shooting out, look out for things like, they love laying around logs. I know when I've been diving for them before. We also know, you know, rock walls are a great place, logs, pylons, any sort of structure. And sometimes it's not too bad here at the moment in the shallows because we can see where it is. Once you get in that deeper water or the back end of that run out tide and it gets dirty, you're going to rely on your electronics to show you exactly where that structure is. But mate, he's quite a nice one, that one. Pull his head out. He's got the jig head stuck in the net, Toddy. Come on, you've got to help me out here, mate.
Got to do something,
There
don't
you
I?
go. Big appetite for a small fish. Here's Curdy, Toddy. You want to go and give him a hand?
Yep. How are you, mate? Thank you.
How's school, buddy?
Yeah, good.
Good. How can school be good? When I went to school, I couldn't wait to get home and go fishing. Now, I know you got home from school, you've gone fishing, and what have you caught?
Some mullet for bait.
Some
liveys.
Some big liveys. Now, I heard that you got your PB flathead the other day. How big?
Yeah, 95.
Mate, I haven't seen you. 95 centimetre. That's a cracker. What'd you catch that on?
Live mullet.
Live mullet. We've
Yeah.
caught lots of flathead today, and then I heard you were catching liveys, so we've got them in the tub there. We're going to go back around and maybe fish down the entrance a bit further and throw one of those live mullet into a good spot and see if we can't see you do it for real. I've seen the photos, but I want to see you in action now. How's that sound?
Yeah, good.
See the wind we've had to put up with all day today, mate. It's been blowing a gale. We've got some really nice flathead. Toddy lost a massive big kingfish. I lost a big flathead, so we've lost a few fish. So it's going to be your chance to try and redeem us here, Curdy. And I know you said you caught some nice mullet. I can see them in your little aerated bucket here. Wow, these look pretty damn good. So we're going to pick one up here. Hang on, see if I can catch him first. Oh, they're jumping around. There's a good one. All right, look at him. He looks perfect. So I've got a 6A chemically sharpened hook there. We'll just lightly pin him the back of the head, and the other one lightly through the tail. Mate, I reckon you can do the honours and see if you can cast him in there and see how you go. But that's the perfect bait for a big flathead right there. All good to go. Righto, buddy. Give it a crack. That's it. Beautiful. It's getting exciting. So you've cast your live mullet in there, Curdy.
Yeah.
And then what's happened? You think you might have had a touch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Got him.
oh, you got him. Go, mate. Grab the net, Toddy. Oh, steady, 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 big fella. Oh, take your time, mate. Take your time. Just go nice and steady. It looks like a big flathead. I think so. I didn't see how big. And it is. Oh, it's a nice one. It's a big one, Curdy. All right, take your time, mate. Take your time. Got all day. We got all day. Got all afternoon. That's the boy. Going well. Going well, son. Toddy's. Oh, don't pull back on him there now, mate. Oh. Pull back around this way. Back around into the net. Yeah! High five, give us a double high, give Toddy one. Toddy, you missed me, I didn't get a high five. That's a big flathead. Wow. Wow. Well done, mate. All right, let's get it out of the net and have a look at it. That is an absolute cracker, and it just goes to show you, come in here, Todd. We've been throwing lures around all day, and these big flatheads see so many lures, especially in high pressure places like this. And I missed a real big flathead. You missed a big king. We had to bring the apprentice on board to get the big fish for us, mate. That is an absolute ripper. Check that out. Just slide your rod down there, mate, so everyone can see your fish at home. Now, this is not your PB.
No.
There'd be kids at home going, are you kidding me, Curdy? I'd love to catch a big flathead like that. And yours was, tell everyone again.
95.
How big's this one?
81.
81. We just put it on the brag mat to measure, and he goes, it's an 81. Got to tell you, Toddy, how happy would we have been to have landed this one a little bit earlier in the day?
Yeah, for sure. It's probably double the size of the ones I was catching earlier. So.
I reckon I hooked one that was something like that. That kingfish that you lost was ridiculous. It's a shame we didn't get to show you that. So it shows there's a few big fish getting around. Beautiful big fish. Another technique you can use, of course, is live mullet. We've been emulating big prawns and mullet with our lures today. And Curdy's got his, you had it all worked out. You said to me, Guesty, come and pick me up. I've got some live mullet in the tank, and I've got to tell you, it's worked an absolute treat.
Now that's a cracking catch. Have you been catching some ripper fish lately? Send in your photo to our Alfab's Cracking Catch competition at the Real Action TV Facebook page. To get you hooked up every week, we're giving away a pen, rod, reel and line combo, an awesome JBL marine stereo system, along with some great gear from Valvoline to keep your marine engine and trailer lubricated.
Well, check that out for a great big female flathead. Curdy's just landed it on the light tackle. What an absolute ripper. We've had a pretty good day out today, really, haven't we, Toddy?
We have, mate. We caught a fair few flathead, but yeah.
Lucky we were joined by the expert at the end of the day. You've been watching Real Action, Guesty, Curdy and Todd Riches. We'll catch you next time. Bye now. All right, mate, let's get the hook out and let it go, eh?
If you want more tips, tricks and behind the scenes stories, check out the Real Action Fishing Podcast.